因為我要數夠。
Members, well, we have a quorum. We'll start. First of all, we're going to proceed with the election of the chairman for the Development Panel. In accordance with our ROP 776, if members are a member or chairman or vice chairman of any ASB dealing with business related to this panel, then you cannot be chairman or deputy chairman of this panel. No chairman or no member can be the chairman or deputy chairman of more than one panel. Now we have two nominations here. Actually, next or at the other meeting there are two nominations, and you would like to nominate the same members, you have to take ROP 77 into account. In accordance with ROP 22, I will now accept nominations. Each valid nomination should have one seconder and one seconder. And with the acceptance by the relevant member, then the nomination is valid. Ms. Alvin Young, Ms. Tanya Chen. Any seconder, please? Mr. Charles Mock, seconds. Ms. Tanya Chen, do you accept the nomination? I do, Chairman. All right, one valid nomination. Ms. Alice Mack, I nominate Mr. Tommy Cheung. Seconder? Ms. Sari Lee. Mr. Tommy Cheung, do you accept? With pleasure. All right, we have another valid nomination. Any other nominations? No? Nomination stops. Because I have already closed the nomination period, we're going to proceed to a secret ballot. In accordance with ROP 1, well, I was informed by the Secretariat that members who are not validly sworn in may not take part into any election. Mr. Edward Yu, Mr. Sixtus Leung, and Ms. Yao Wei-jing have not been validly sworn in, so I will not send out ballot papers to these three members. So please distribute the ballot papers now. How many members do we have? 63. So please check that only a member of this panel can receive a ballot paper.
sorry 呢度，第1號就。
Number 1 is Ms. Tanya Chen. Number 2, Mr. Tommy Cheung.
你如果攞到票攞到印呢，可以而家開始吸引都得㗎啦嚇。因為有陸續。
Well, because two meetings are going on simultaneously. Well, for those who have just come in, may I remind you that if you're a member of the 63-strong development panel, if you haven't got a ballot paper, please, by show of hand, we will let you have one. All right, keep your hands raised until you have got a ballot paper. I don't want to miss out anyone. So you are one of the 63 members of the development panel, and you have just come in. We are now distributing the ballot papers. You haven't got one yet, please raise your hand. We'll wait until everyone has got one. One more.
有係嘛？
Okay. Is he a member? Yes. Mr. Leung Kwok Hong. If you haven't got a ballot paper, please raise your hand.
又多一個。
Still one more.
我諗我真係要好舉手做一個呢度63個之一呢個65個之一，對唔住啊。好啦，嗱，我數5聲嚇，如果在呢5聲裏邊冇人入嚟咧，我就係當要停止嗰個派票啦。1、2、3、4、5，停止派票。OK， 好嗱，而家咧就大家如果投票完成咧，就請大家咧就係而家工作人員咧係收票。請你咧就係將你嘅選。
Then our staff will collect them. Please put your ballot papers into the box personally. Don't ask somebody to do it. There is no need to fold it because we're going to mix the ballot papers. And please do not leave your seats before voting. Chairman, point of order. The ending time of this meeting is 9:30. Is it 9:30 or until we have completed our procedures? Because there is a debate or an argument going on next door. So can the Secretariat tell us? Thank you, Mr. Chen. The chairman who's presiding this meeting has the discretionary power to extend the meeting a little bit so as not to be in the way of another meeting. He has the power to extend the meeting by 15 minutes depending on the voting procedures. If it would affect the start of another meeting, then the chairman will have the discretion to decide.
提名人係邊位？好，幾多條？
就係楊岳橋議員麥美娟。
哦，係楊岳橋議員。
Mr. Alfred Young and Ms. Alice Mack will monitor the counting of votes. Please, thank you.
好，首先我哋派出幾多票？
How many ballot papers have we distributed? 52. So let's mix the ballot papers first.
要撈亂㗎，因為咧你可。
We have to mix them because members of the same camp may be sitting close to one another, and we don't want people to know who's voting for whom.
需要唱票咧？
唱票啦，穩陣啲啦，係。
Right, please count. Number 2. 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 Number 1. Number 2. 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 Number 1. Number 1. Number 1. This is an invalid ballot paper. The voter use a pencil instead of the chalk. Number 1. Number 1. Number 1. Number 1. Number 1. Number 1.
Number 1. Number 1. Number 1. Number 1. Number 1. Number 1. All right, let's count it again. It seems that there are a few less ballot papers.
Ba, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33，我數到33。
52嘅。
最緊要唔好多咗。
唔好多，唔好多最緊要，收少個唔緊要。數多次，唔緊要。
Well, let's count the ballot papers again. That's all right?
OK， 嗱，我哋再。
All right, let's count the number of ballot papers. Atan Cheng got 16 votes, and Tommy Zhang 33 votes, and one ballot paper is invalid. Although the number of ballot papers received is too less than the number distributed, but that's all right. It is problematic if the number is more, but it's all right if it's less. So Tanya Chang got 16 votes and Tommy Zhang got 33 votes. So Mr. Tommy Zhang is elected as chairman. So I'll hand over the chair to you,
選副主席咯，係咪？
Election of the vice chairman, right? Yes, I think we can do it. There is enough time. Members, we are now going to conduct the election of the vice chairman for the 2016-17 development panel. A valid nomination should be made orally by one member and seconded orally by another member, and the nominee has to accept the nomination. Any nominations, please? Ms. Elizabeth Quat. Mr. Kenneth Lau. Any seconder? Jeffrey Lam. Mr. Lau, do you accept the nomination? Yes, I'm willing to accept the nomination. Dr. Kwok Kaki? Tanya Chen. Seconded by Mr. Raymond Chen. Mrs. Tanya Chen, do you accept the nomination? Yes, I do. Any other nomination? If there is no other nomination, then as I'll just I'll count up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If there is no other nomination, then we'll conduct a vote by secret ballot. So can the staff distribute a ballot paper to each member present and also a chop to them? And members, when you have put a chop on the ballot paper. Oh, I'll get that first before I continue reading from the script. Well, after the members have chopped the ballot paper, I'll say that the voting ends, and then no more ballot paper will be distributed, and we will collect the ballot papers, and all members have to place the ballot papers personally into the collection box, and before you do so, you should not leave your seat. Is there any other member who has not been distributed a ballot paper? Please raise your hand. According to the House rule, each nominee will be assigned a nominee number according to the order of the nomination. And members, you should chop the tick against the member you wish to vote for. Number 1 is Mr. Kenneth Lau. Number 2 is Ms. Tanya Chen. This is a secret ballot, voting, so do not show your ballot papers to others. Please fold your ballot papers, and you don't have to further fold it. Mr. James Toh, you don't have a ballot paper. Please give one ballot paper to Mr. Toh. I'll count up to 5 and see if there is any member who has not received a ballot paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right? We will not distribute ballot papers anymore. So, staff members, please start collecting the ballot papers. The members who have been given a ballot paper, please place personally the ballot papers into the ballot box. Please do not leave your seat before you do so.
主席或者你宣佈陣間會稍為延長會議，以便咧定出下次會議日期
各位同事，
Members, I believe that we have to extend the meeting time to set the schedule of meetings. Can we now ask the two persons making the nomination to supervise the counting, Ms. Elizabeth Quat and also Dr. K.K. Kwok?
一號
Number one. 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 Number two. Number 2. 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 Let's recount the ballot papers.
11票用11票，係啱嘅。周實聽緊，唔該晒，請繼續宣佈。
請監票委員返回。
So the 2 members who supervise the vote, please return to your seat. Now let's declare the voting results. Mr. Kenneth Lau's got 32 votes and Ms. Tanya Chan's got 11 votes. So I declare Mr. Kenneth Lau elected as the vice chairman of the development panel for this session. All the ballot papers under the supervision of the clerk will be destroyed immediately. Members, we now have to go on to discuss the schedule of meetings for the 2016-17 session. Yes. In the last session, the panel of development has its meetings on the 4th Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. The regular meeting is to be held. If members don't have any views, we can make the similar arrangements. And please, members, refer to the proposed schedule of regular meetings tabled. There are 3 meetings which will not be held on the 4th Tuesday of the month. The first is the meeting in October that will be rescheduled to the morning of the 8th of November, and then on the 27th of December is a public holiday, so the meeting has been rescheduled to the 20th of December, and for the July meeting next year that will be held on the 18th of July.
The third item on the agenda is confirmation of, is agenda for the next meeting. Ms. Tanya Chen. Earlier on, the administration promised to the public that on the question of Wang Chao incident, documents will be submitted. Is exactly within the terms of reference of this panel, given that our session has started and we've yet to receive any paper from the administration. So please put it to the administration that the public is very concerned about this incident, and please ask it to submit information paper to us in accordance to our ROP prior to the next meeting for further discussion and follow-up. Thank you. Well, the next meeting is due to start, so are we on the same page? And Dr. Helena Wong, we decided last time that we would discuss the issues related to Tongjiang water. I hope we can pay a site visit this session. And they also promised that another test for lead in water be done, but I understand that they will delay until next March. So can we follow up, for instance, on the progress of the legislation related to water safety and also water facilities? And then we've also got a follow-up item on the review childcare services, on the standards for childcare services, elderly centers, for open space, and also parks. And also, under the development panel, we set up a subcommittee to follow up. Dr. Na Wang, because of time constraint, can you give us a written request? I've already made my request. Mr. Michael Tian. As we know, the West Rail is really very overloaded, and is that there can be another railway developed for the area, and also a brownfield sites bank. We haven't got any information on that. Can the administration give us information so that we know what is the policy involving to the development of brownfield sites? Okay, thank you. Mr. Ken Lau. I haven't like to discuss the mechanism for compensation and also rehousing, because the rules are already outdated and we don't have enough land, given that there isn't sufficient land for reprovisioning of warehouses and industrial land. I also like to follow on the Hong Kong standards for planning guidelines, because again they're already outdated. Can we have standards that can suit nowadays requirements? Thank you. Mrs. Regina Ip. Yes, I'm for discussing the Wang Chao incident. I think we should conduct a joint panel meeting. We should ask officials responsible for housing to join the meeting as well. And the Development Bureau should explain to us their study of brownfield sites and their proposals for using such sites. As we all know, the Wang Chao housing development plan was affected by the issue of brownfield sites. So there should be a report on their study. Mr. Holding Chow. I hope we can study the development of Lantau, in particular transport and traffic arrangements, because some of the roads are not constructed even after many years, affecting the development of the island. I hope that with new developments on Lantau, we can also revisit the issue of transport infrastructure, including the artificial island proposed for that. Mr. Dennis Kwok. Yes, we're concerned about the water quality of Dongjiang. We're also concerned about the capacity of the salination. I'd like to know whether that can be included into the discussion for quality of Dongjiang water, or can we have a separate issue item on the technology and capacity of the desalination plant? Mr. Chen Hanpan. We'll follow up on the issue of mandatory inspection of windows and buildings. They have been put in place for a number of years, but that has created a lot of bid rigging incidents. And windows are still falling even after the window inspection schemes have started. So the administration should tell us whether there's a review of the arrangements. Ms. Alice Mack. Chairman. In 2013, we raised the issue of lack of water supply, fresh water supply for some villages. However, we've yet to deal with it. So can you take this up with the relevant officials so that we can help these villages to have basic utilities? Yes. Wang Chao. Ms. Tanner Chen, you want to go again? Yes, I followed very diligently the agenda item, the order for the next meeting. Frankly speaking, I don't really have time now. So if you have any proposals for our discussion, you can just write in. I can only extend this meeting by 15 minutes at most, and we have to call it a day. So you have already completed your point, okay? You've made your point. For the Wangzhou incident, I understand that the housing panel is going to have an item on that because Wangzhou is mainly about PRH development, and a member just suggested a joint panel meeting with housing panel. I don't mind. I'll discuss with the housing panel then. So, for the next meeting, proposed enactment of an exemption regulation and addition of 3 new trade divisions under the Construction Workers Registration Ordinance. Second, Hung Shui Kiu NDA Planning and Engineering Study, a revised recommended outline development plan. And 3, Hong Kong 2030 Plus, towards a planning vision and strategy transcending 2030. We have got 3 items already. I suggest that we begin at 9 a.m. until 12:30. We should start a little bit earlier, okay? AOB, we don't have any. I declare the meeting closed. Thank you very much.